Chuck's Guitar Geekery. Nothing says metal quite like panda bears. You know what? Panda bear facial fur patterns kind of look like a black metal makeup sometimes. So keep that in mind next time you see your favorite black metal artist. They kind of look like panda bears. Big, fuzzy, cuddly panda bears. This is a cheap knockoff of a metal muff pedal, pretty much. It's got stereo outputs. Why? I don't know. I'm not set up to record stereo, so you're just getting the mono. Because the regular metal muff doesn't do that. I don't know why. It also has a headphone out, which doesn't have the distorted signal. It's just a bypassed straight guitar tone that goes through it. I don't know why, but it's on here. I'm just going to ignore it. And I'm going to run mono, because that's how I work 99% of the time. But the metal muff, there's kind of mixed opinions on it. To me, I had one a long time ago. It's one of my favorite and one of the most versatile heavy distortion pedals out there. It's got 3-band EQ. It's also got the top boost. And the top boost is where people have a hard time wrapping their head around this pedal. So I'm just going to dig into the tones. I'm honestly running through my Envave and Black Box. But I'm using a capture I did of my clean channel of my PRS MT15 head. So if you subscribe to my Patreon, for the $2 tier, you can get the backing jam tracks at the beginning there. But for $5 a month, you get the backing jam tracks plus amp captures. So I'm going to do both Tonex and the Envave, Qvave AM2 data captures. So you'll get a capture of this rig. And I'm using a free impulse response from Tone Junkies. So nothing fancy here. I'm using a $85 guitar. So this is a bypass tone. Like and subscribe. You know all that. Nothing fancy. A lot of gain on tap, and that's with all the EQ at noon. The EQ is very powerful on here and very touchy, so it's going to be one of those try to find the sweet spot because it kind of jumps all over the place. But let's start twiddling the EQ knobs. Didn't mean to clip there. Now let's touch the gain knob. Let's see if we can get bluesy here. Maybe I'll do the opposite of Ola England. Instead of will it chug, will it blues? it can do all that, but I find it's best with EQs close to noon. It seems the most balanced to me. And the volume knob's pretty touch sensitive. I mean, it may be a defective unit, who knows when it's this cheap, but there's really no volume. Let's start with the volume at noon. It's like all the usable volume sweep is within like a millimeter or two here, so yeah, that's one downside of cheap pedals. No one needs that much gain. By the way, I am not a metal player. I try to play blues rock as fast as I can, but I'm not a metalhead. I appreciate it, I enjoy it, I'm just not good at playing it, so. With that said, let's, there's a foot switch to turn the pedal on and off, but now you got this top boost. And this is where I think a lot of people get confused with this pedal and don't like it. What it pretty much is, when you turn the dial, it's not how much boost there is, but it's sweeping the frequency that's being boosted. And pretty much anything past like, you know, here, like what is that, 10 o'clock on the dial, gets very harsh. So this is a pedal where you can easily get into very bad sounds. So just take your time twiddling the knobs and then try not to touch them once you get them where you like them. So once again, this is with the top boost off. Then the top boost on with the knob all the way down. That seems like it's hitting like the low mids, maybe starting around the 500K, so let's turn it up slowly. So it's pretty much like having a cocked wah. Essentially the same effect you're doing here. Then around this point on the dial, that kind of gets into what I feel is like the tube screamer mid-range bump. Then a little higher up gets closer to like the Klon style EQ curve, but and that's just where it gets ugly. So To me, it seems like the sweep goes from all the way down, starts around like the 300 hertz range, and then right when you get to about there, it gets close to like the 2K to 3K range. And how I would use this is it's pretty much like a lead boost is what you're doing, and you want to find, you may need to play with it like if you're playing in a band, find the frequencies that help you jump out of the mix and put it there. So the rhythm tone, you know, it's a pretty nice full sounding rhythm. And on the opening backing jam track there, that's what I had for the rhythm tones you were hearing. I believe it was on the left side I had a greenback speaker, and then on the right side I had a vintage 30 speaker. Everything you're hearing from now on is a greenback speaker, but then that was for the rhythm tone, and then I used the top boost to kind of jump through the mix a little bit. Because that's not a good rhythm tone to me. But the other thing, if you keep it down here where it's kind of a more full sound to me. So I would use that, like maybe if you're the rhythm guitarist in the band and the other guitarist jumps out to take a solo, maybe kick that in. That'll help you fill up more of the sound with the second guitarist doing a solo. That's one way to use it. Or the boost stays on if you go into bypass. So if you just like that tone, you want to keep it, just leave it on, leave it there, and you turn the pedal on and off. So a lot of flexibility here, a lot of information to throw at you, but the Metal Muff and the Metal Muff style, the Nano Metal Muff from Electro Harmonics doesn't have the top boost function. The full-size Metal Muff does, but now these cheap clones are here. And yeah, check one out for yourself. I'll have affiliate links below. Like I said, I haven't seen this one on Amazon. I'll check eBay, maybe it hasn't now. I bought this a while ago, and as it turns out with these cheap pedals, I buy it. It takes me a while to get to the video, and now I can't find it for sale anywhere else. But I'm pretty sure on Amazon it's under VSN. I'll have that one linked below, but it should be the same circuit. It's just got a different graphic on it, a different name brand. But if you subscribe to the Patreon below, I will create a capture of this pedal with the preamp. Then you can match it with your own impulse response that you want to do. I definitely recommend having a high cut too, because I do have a high cut on my impulse response. But yeah, that's on the Patreon. You get the jam track, you get the captures, and if there's enough demand out there, if you want a capture of just the pedal in Tonex, like you want to use it as a stomp box on its own, I can do that for both with the top boost bypass and the top boost activated. So like, subscribe, all that. See y'all later.